Hi everyone, this is Audrey from Guild Technologies. Today I'm going to show you a demo of how we can use Microsoft Teams from Office 365 to improve collaboration within your organization. You can imagine Microsoft Teams to be a digital hub that contains all your conversations, your files, your documents, meetings, ideas, basically everything that's related to a project can be found together in one place. Alright, you can see on my screen here that I have signed in to my Office 365 online portal. The URL to remember is office.com. After you have signed in, this is typically the first page that you see. For today, we will focus on Microsoft Teams. I'm going to go ahead to launch Teams. So Teams can be accessible from any of the popular web browsers like Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Explorer, and over here I'm using the Edge browser. You can also download Microsoft Teams onto your mobile phones as a mobile client. You just have to download it from your mobile app stores. And you can also download the desktop version of Teams onto your desktop. Shortly, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, you see this icon called Get App. When you click on it, you can install the desktop version of Teams by simply following the instructions here. So for me, I have already installed the desktop version of Teams on my desktop. And this is my desktop version of Teams. You can see that the look and feel is very similar to what we have online. Okay, and for our example today, I'm going to create a team that I'm going to work with to implement Office 365 for a customer. So to create a new team, you go to this join or create a team, you click on it and you click on the create team button. There are a few types of teams that you can create, a private team, a public team, or an organization-wide team. So for today, we will create a private team. And I'm going to go ahead to name my team as O365 for customer ABC. You can include a description for your team or you can just leave it blank. And then you click the next button. Okay, the next page will prompt you to add members to your team. I'm going to add a staff within my organization, and you can choose to add guests that are external of your organization. So for my example, I'm going to add Sarah. Sarah has a gmail.com email, that's fine too. Your guest does not have to have an Office 365 subscription to be able to access the teams that you are going to invite her to. And you can also choose how you want this name of your guest to be shown. And I'm going to go ahead and add these team members. Okay, so our team members have been added. You can see that the guest can only have guest rights. You can't change them. But for people within your organization, you can choose to assign them as an owner or as a member. So owner will get to have more rights such as deleting or renaming your team. And it's good practice to have more than one owner for each team. So I'm going to go ahead to make Phyllis an owner of this team as well. Okay, and we go ahead to close. Okay, so you can see that by default, the general channel gets created, and in the general channel, the 3 tabs over here are created. You can see that in the marketing team, there are 2 channels. So you can create multiple channels based on how you want to categorize your project or how you want to collaborate with your team members. You can have multiple channels or you can just have one. And you can drag this up so that it appears higher up and you can easily access it. Okay, so typically when you start a new project, you would go to your email and create a new email to your team members. But with Teams, you can just say, "Hi, Phyllis and Sarah, can we schedule a kickoff meeting for this project for customer ABC?" So Phyllis and Sarah, they would receive a notification if they have their desktop Teams installed. If not, they would have to go to the Teams online to see the new notification in their activity area. If you need to call out special attention to anybody, you can use the add mention feature. You just have to start with an add and you can click on whoever you want to add mention. When you add mention someone, an email will be sent to the person that you add mention. So when you add mention someone, you are actually trying to get the attention of that person. So I'm going to add mention Sarah and say, "Hey Sarah, can we schedule the kickoff meeting?" Okay, so Sarah would be able to reply over here by clicking here, or she can start an entire new entire conversation by typing here. Okay, so you can see that there is rich text functionality. You can mark a message as important. You can bold it. You can underline it. And you can even have highlights. All right? Or you can even have bullets. So there's a lot of things you can do to make your message really special. When you mark a message as important, the exclamation mark gets tagged to the side of the message. Okay? And you can also like this message to show that you have read it, to signify that you are approved. It's okay, you're fine with the message. Okay? And there's this fun stuff like emojis you can use. These are really fun, especially with ladies. And there's giffies and stickers. So I find the stickers really fun because you can change the words on the stickers themselves. Okay, and you can post it to your conversations tab. All right, and over here you can also attach documents from your computer. Okay, it's still setting up. Let me try it again. All right, you can upload documents from your computer. So for this project, it's on Office 365. We are going to upload this requirements gathering document into this team. Okay, so you can see that when I attach a document in the Conversations tab, the document is actually automatically saved in the Files tab. So all your documents and files that's related to this project will be stored here. Okay? So traditionally, when you need to create a new document, you would go to your computer and you would start the Word document. But I'm suggesting that you start the new document directly from within Teams itself. so that you can skip a step. You don't have to save the document from your computer to the cloud, because when you start the document from here, it is already in the cloud. So I'm going to name this the O365 runbook, and I'm going to go ahead to create it. Okay. Okay. So when you want to edit the Word document, you have a few options. You can edit it directly in Teams over here. You can edit it in Word on your desktop, or you can edit it in Word Online. So for me, my personal preference is to edit it in Word on my desktop. So I'm going to open up Word on my desktop. Okay, it's taking a little bit of time to open up. All right. So over here, I want to show you the version history. Right on top, you can see this drop-down button, and you see this section called version history. When you click on version history, it will show you the history of who saved what when. So if you have a document that you use to collaborate that has many authors, a lot of people work on this single document, you would see that there's a whole list of versions that will be automatically saved. All right, I'm going to show you that this is the autosave function is turned on, so this document is automatically saved. I'm going to close it back. And I'm going to open it again so that you can see the magic that happens with the version history. Again, I'm going to open it up in Word Desktop. Okay, now we go and look at version history again, and you can see that there's a previous version that got saved. So I can click on this open version. It will open up the initial version, and it actually gives me the option to compare, and I can also choose to restore to this version if I feel that I've made a mistake and I want to restore it back to this version. I can do that by simply clicking on this button. If not, I just close this and come back to this latest version that I have. All right. So over here you see the share button. You can also simply share this Word document with someone. You don't have to attach this document in email. You can share this document directly from here. You can have these various options depending on how your Office 365 is set up. So you can share this with people within your organization, or maybe even specific people. You can allow editing, or you can just send it as a read-only document. So an example, maybe I can share it with the customer as an example. All right, and you just have to click send. You can see that I didn't have to go into my email at all. And when the customer, when Sarah opens the link, she will be going back to this version of document that we're working on. So we won't end up with multiple versions of the same document sitting in Sarah's computer, sitting in my computer. We will all be accessing just this single version of document. All right. So I can also start a conversation on this, start a conversation of this document without making any changes in the document. I can say, "Hi Phyllis, this is my initial inputs." And you can see when I start a conversation on this document, the conversation is automatically recorded in the Conversations tab. All right, so all conversations that I start within the team will be recorded in the Conversations tab. So when Phyllis comes in and she clicks on this link, it will open up the document that is stored here. All right, very cool. So over here, you can also upload your files from here. And for some people, they have Dropbox accounts, they have Google Drive. You can authenticate and you can add the folder to this channel so that you can have easy access to the information that's sitting in your Google Drive or Dropbox. All right, to get more advanced features, you can open this document library in SharePoint. And the third tab is a wiki. You can imagine Wiki as a digital blank piece of paper where you can really just write anything you want. So an example would be maybe some notes. You can embed and you can insert an image. You can insert tables. You can copy tables from Excel directly to here. You can paste screenshots. Or if you come across certain ideas that you want to quickly note down, you can have it here as well. And also, you have the conversation feature again. So you can start a conversation related to this section. "Hi Sarah, these are my notes." So you can say that. And again, if we go back to conversations, you can see that a record of that is kept here. And when Sarah comes into the Conversations tab, when she clicks on this notes and info, it will automatically bring her to this section. You can create multiple sections. You can even create new pages. All right, it's very flexible. Okay, so you can also add tabs of any other applications that you want a quick access to, a quick shortcut to. So over here you can see that there's a whole list of them available. In my organization, we use a lot of Planner. Planner is a task management tool. I'm going to go ahead and add a planner. Okay, and give your planner a name that you can relate to. So for example, this would be 0365 for customer ABC. Or you could even make it shorter if it's too long. 0365 for customer ABC. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Planner is one of the applications that's available in your Office 365 plan. And in Planner, you can add tasks, you can assign the tasks to team members. So in our example, we have to schedule kickoff meeting. And I know that the task is mine. I'm going to set the due date to tomorrow, and I'm going to add the task. When you go into the task view, you can update the task by telling your teammates that, hey, I'm already in progress with this task. And you can have descriptions. You can add descriptions to this task. You can choose to show it on the card. It will show up on the card. Or if this task is a big task and you have sub-tasks to complete, you can create subtask in the checklist, subtask 1, subtask 2, and so on. Okay, and again, you can show these on the card. It will show up on the card. And once you're done with them, you can mark them off. All right, and you can add attachments that's related to this task. And you can even create comments. So comments section is usually updates about your task. Okay, you can update your task. So you can have more than one person assigned to a task. For example, this task is assigned to Sarah as well as myself. When I have an update, when I send updates in this comments section, Sarah and myself, we will get an email with the information that's written in the comments box. And we can have the option to simply reply in email, and our email reply will show up here as a record here. All right, so there are these other functions that you can use to further categorize your task. Okay, and these are called buckets. You can add more buckets that make sense to how you want to categorize your project. So for us, I'm going to show you an active planner that we are using for this customer called ST. So when we have our weekly project meetings, our weekly project team syncs on this project, we would open up this planner view during our project meeting, and we would run through the task one by one in the meeting, and everybody would be in sync on exactly where we are with the project. So you can also filter by due dates. So we would know at one glance where are we late with this project, what tasks are late, what tasks are going to be next, and which tasks have no dates yet assigned. Some tasks are things that you know you need to KIV, so we just throw it into Planner, and we can click on this chart to see a dashboard view on where we stand, how many tasks have been completed, how many are late, how many have not yet been started, and also which team members have trouble finishing up their task. We can also have a view of that here. Okay, so this is the project view of the planner. If you want to know what are the tasks that has been assigned to yourself, you go to these three dots and you click on Planner. When you do that and you click on My Task, it will actually show you all the tasks that has been assigned to you from all the different projects that you're involved in. So for me, I would usually come in here and I would filter to see by due date. So that helps me to prioritize, because I would be able to see which task am I late on, which task can I expect to work on next, and also I can prepare myself for any task that I need to do next week. Okay, so once you're done with a task, you simply just mark it off, and it will disappear from plain view. All right. Okay, so we go back to our teams. We go back to our project called Office 365 for customer ABC. And for example, I see that Phyllis is online, and I would like to quickly have a call with her to discuss. So I can click on Meet Now, and immediately I'm going to jump into a call. Okay, so you can have a video call, you can have an audio call. If you don't want the video, you just have to turn your camera off, and you can share your desktop, you can share just a window, you can share just your PowerPoint slides, or you can even share a digital whiteboard, just like how you would in a traditional meeting room. Okay, you can also record your session. If there's a team member that cannot attend the meeting, this recording would be very useful, because your team member would be able to go back to the recording to review what has been discussed in the meeting. Okay, so you can also click on meeting notes here, and you can take your meeting notes directly in the window here, notes 1, notes 2, and so on. So when you're done with the call, you just have to hang up. Okay, so over here you can see that meeting notes has been automatically created as a tab. You can click on it to access, to go back to what you have captured during the meeting. You can choose to rename this, or you can simply remove it if you think that you don't need this here. Okay, and in a few minutes you will see that the recording will show up here. Currently the recording is being saved to Microsoft Stream. Just give it another few more minutes. We would be able to click on the meeting recording and review the meeting again. Okay, and if you don't want to get into an ad hoc meeting, you can also schedule a meeting for later on. When you schedule a meeting, this information will show up in your Outlook calendar. All right, so over here we can see that the meeting recording is available. Your team members just have to click on it, and you can go back into the meeting to review whatever he or she has missed out. All right. Okay. So over here, you can add a lot more tabs depending on what makes sense for your project. And you can find even more over here when you click on the store. Some customers have, for example, I have a customer that uses Salesforce, and they would like to put the Salesforce information in their project team so that they can access it very quickly. You can do that too. There's a whole list of them here. You can explore them. All right. Okay. So we have seen the Teams information. We have seen how Teams work. There's also the chat functionality and the meetings calendar. All right. So if you would like to start a new chat with someone, you go to this icon right on top and you click on New Chat. Okay, and if your contact is not found anywhere here, you can look for this person by simply typing the person's email address, and you can start to type away. All right, you can also do video calls or audio calls directly from here. Okay, so I'm going to show you one last part. Typically, from emails, you may get some people or customers or team members, they may still send you emails with attachments. Assuming that this email from my colleague is something that is related to our Office 365 project, we can use this add-in called One Place Mail to very easily save this attachment to my team. So I can choose to add my attachment, or I can also add the entire email conversation. So now I just want to add my attachment. I click on Next, and I'm going to tell One Place Mail that I want to save it into Microsoft Teams, and I want to save it in the site that we have just created, and in this general channel. Save here. I can choose to change the title of the document from here. Project info. Okay, I can choose to change the file name from here, and I just have to click finish and get back to work. When I do that and I go back to my Teams under Office 365 for Customer, I see that the file that I have saved from my email shows up here. That's a very cool feature, right? Okay, so that brings us to the end of my demo for Microsoft Teams. Thank you.